Hello everyone and welcome to LaSalle Blog and Documentary. Today, we would like to share about Christopher Lee Watts family murders. The Watts family murders occurred in the early morning hours of August 13, 2018 in Frederick, Colorado, U.S. While being interviewed by police, Christopher Lee Watts admitted to killing his pregnant wife, Shan Ann Catherine Watts, by strangulation and her unborn son, Nico Lee Watts, in utero. He later admitted to killing their daughters, 4-year-old Bella and 3-year-old Celeste, by smothering them with a blanket. He pleaded guilty on November 6, 2018 to multiple counts of first-degree murder as part of a plea deal when the death penalty was removed from sentencing. He was sentenced to 5 life sentences without the possibility of parole, 3 to be served consecutively and 2 to be served concurrently. Returning from a business trip in the early hours of August 13, 2018, Shannon and Chris got into a heated argument at their home in Frederick, Colorado, after Chris confessed to having an affair and that he wanted a divorce. Shortly after this, Chris started to strangle Shannon, eventually killing her. While this was happening, Bella, his 4-year-old daughter, walked into the room and asked him, "What are you doing with Mommy?" Chris then told Bella that Mommy was feeling ill and he had to go to the hospital. He loaded Shannon's body into the car along with his 2 daughters who were still alive and proceeded to drive to his workplace, Anadarko Petroleum. When Chris arrived there, he then started to smother his 3-year-old daughter Celeste with her favorite blanket, eventually killing her and pushing her body into an oil tank located on the site of his workplace. When he then returned for Bella, who had just witnessed him kill his sister, she said, "Please Daddy, don't do to me what you just did to Sissy." Chris then murdered Bella and shoved her body into the oil tank. He buried Shannon into a shallow grave on a site nearby. After news spread of Chris Watts' pregnant wife Shannon and their 2 young daughters going missing, a news crew arrived at their home to interview the man who should have been an emotional wreck. However, his odd attitude immediately raised suspicions. Though for several days Watts stuck to his story that his wife had returned home from a business trip, then promptly disappeared with their children, he admitted he had an emotional conversation the night before she left, but claimed it was nothing more. He even went as far as to tell an officer I couldn't sleep at all last night and that he missed them throwing chicken nuggets at me just hours after he murdered them. Further investigation with help from the FBI revealed where the female bodies were on the oil field where Chris Watts worked. Records shown the family was deeply in debt as well, having declared bankruptcy a few years prior to the alleged murders. The week after the televised interview, when Chris Watts' father flew into town allegedly to comfort Chris, he reportedly convinced him to turn himself into the authorities. Watts made a complete confession on August 16, 2018. He was charged with 3 counts of murder and awaited sentencing. On November 6, 2018, Watts pleaded guilty to 9 charges. In exchange for his guilty plea, he was spared the death penalty. On November 19, 2018, he was sentenced to 5 life sentences, 3 consecutive and 2 concurrent with no parole.